Okay, so today we're embarking on a really thought-provoking deep dive. We're looking into our relationship, how it's evolving with, well, AI, artificial intelligence.
Definitely the most transformative tech of our time, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And our source today is this really insightful piece by Pereira. Now, she's a specialist in neurobusiness, a behavioral analyst with over 40 years in the corporate world.
Quite the background.
Yeah, and her article is called The Awakening of Superintelligence. Are you the genie in the lamp or the AI pet generation? It really gets you thinking about how we interact with AI and how that's going to, define what comes next.
And Marinus herself, she's nearly 65, right?
Exactly. She's kind of a living example of how AI isn't just for the young guns. It can amplify capabilities, boost productivity, even, she argues, upgrade our own brains.
It's pretty striking, isn't it? How AI has jumped from, well, science fiction straight into our pockets, our daily lives.
Feels like overnight sometimes.
It does. But the core of Marinus's argument, and this is what makes this deep dive so interesting, I think, is her point about how our approach to all this power, that's what really shapes us.
Right. It's not just the tech itself.
No. So we'll be exploring her analogy, this genie idea, and challenging you, our listeners, to think about whether you're really grabbing AI's potential for growth, or maybe slipping into a kind of convenience trap without realizing it.
Okay, so let's get into that analogy she uses to frame this choice. The genie in the lamp. Classic story, we all know it.
We do.
The genie's incredibly powerful, grants wishes, but
Right.
there's always catch or a nuance, isn't there?
Exactly. The genie, well, it takes things literally. You make a poorly worded wish.
Disaster potential, or just useless.
Precisely. So Mary Ness connects this to today. She says AI is our genie. The software, the app you're using, that's the lamp.
And our commands, our prompts,
Yeah.
those are the wishes.
That's it. Which really raises the question, doesn't it? Are we actually learning to make the right wishes, the effective requests?
Or are we just taking the easy route, letting the genie sort of pick for us?
And that, she argues, is where this idea of the AI pet generation comes in. It's a provocative term.
It really is. And this choice, it feels even more important when you think about just how powerful and accessible AI is becoming.
Oh, absolutely. Marinette points this out, the incredible potential AI has, solving complex problems, finding insights, optimizing things at speeds we couldn't imagine before.
She even brings up Eric Schmidt, former Google CEO, his prediction that soon we'll have like a polymath in our pocket.
Like a Da Vinci on call.
Yeah, a universal genius ready to tackle pretty much any intellectual challenge. And that kind of superintelligence is just becoming available to everyone.
And that's the crux of it, right?
Yeah.
Faced with that kind of power, the choice is totally ours. Marinette really lays it out.
Option A or option B?
Kind of. Option A, be the master of the genie and the lamp. Use AI deliberately as a catalyst for your own evolution. Ask the smart questions, deepen your knowledge, expand your thinking, your creativity.
That's the genius generation path she talks about.
Exactly. Or option B, and here's the danger zone. You fall into passivity, you let the convenience take over.
And that's the slippery slope to becoming the AI pet generation.
That's how she frames it. And it's not just, an individual thing. She warns that whole organizations could lose their edge, their innovative spark, if this AI pet mindset becomes the norm within their teams.
That's a really interesting point about organizations, but let's unpack this AI pet generation idea a bit more. What does she actually mean by that? What are the signs?
Yeah, it's a crucial distinction she makes. First off, it's not about age. Not Gen Z, Gen X, none of that.
Okay, so it's behavioral.
It's behavioral. It's a mindset. It can affect any professional, really, who just takes a passive, kind of superficial approach to using technology, like a pet waiting for instructions,
Right, waiting to be told what to do or just taking the first thing offered.
Exactly. And she highlights 3 key characteristics she's seeing emerge. First one is copy and paste without curating.
Okay, so just grabbing whatever the AI spits out.
Pretty much. Accepting AI-generated stuff without really thinking critically about it. Is it true? Is it deep enough? Or just hitting send without a second glance.
I can see how that happens easily.
Yeah.
What's the second one?
This one, she suggests, is maybe the most dangerous. Delegating critical thinking.
How does that start?
Well, it often starts subtly. You delegate repetitive tasks, things that eat up time. And that makes sense. She mentions a Stanford study finding nearly half of workers want to do that to save time.
Seems logical. Optimize your workflow.
It does. But the risk comes when that delegation shifts from just doing tasks to outsourcing the actual thinking.
Ah, okay. So it's one thing to have AI draft an email, another to have it make a strategic decision for you.
Precisely. The AI pet generation, in her view, gives up that intellectual control simply because it's convenient. They accept AI answers without questioning them. And that leads to what she calls cognitive debt.
Cognitive debt. That sounds serious. It's not just about forgetting facts then. It's deeper.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
like letting your mental muscles atrophy because you're not using them.
Hmm.
Mary Nace defines it as this gradual erosion of our own ability to think to solve problems because we're outsourcing too much of it.
A quiet giving up of our own capacity.
That's a good way to put it. And her third point ties into this, getting lost in superficialities.
Meaning?
Well, the internet's already floated with content, right? Now add tons of AI-generated text, often uncurated, maybe inaccurate.
It's getting harder to know what's reliable.
Exactly. So the ability to discern, to sift through the noise, becomes absolutely vital. It's a survival skill, almost. She also makes the point that AI is a network effect business. The fastest learners get the biggest gains.
So if we humans aren't actively learning and adapting alongside the AI,
Then intelligence itself just becomes a commodity. We risk becoming passive consumers rather than active participants in its evolution.
wow. Okay, so this choice, genius or pet, it's already visible in the corporate world, you were saying? Companies are making different bets?
Oh, definitely. You can see a clear split emerging. On one side, you've got what Marykins calls empowering companies, the ones creating the genius generation.
What are they doing differently?
They're investing heavily, training their people in prompt engineering, which is really just the art and science of asking AI the right questions to get valuable results.
So they see AI not as a threat to jobs, but as a tool to redefine them.
Exactly. Freeing up human talent for the things AI can't do. Well, creativity, judgment, nuance.
Mm.
But there's a challenge here, she notes.
Which is?
Our traditional education systems, they haven't always prioritized creativity or critical questioning, have they?
Yeah.
Often it's been about following instructions, rote learning.
Which, ironically, might make people more susceptible to just accepting AI output without question.
It potentially increases that risk, yeah.
Huh.
It might inadvertently cultivate that pet generation mindset she warns about.
Okay, so for you listening, if your company isn't doing that kind of training, not
Yeah.
fostering that genius's mindset, what could that mean down the line?
Well, that brings us to the other side of the coin, the lagging companies, the ones she sees as AI pet generation cultivators,
They just allow passive use.
pretty much. And the risk there is that their teams become less effective, less strategic over time. And here's a kicker. Their own clients, who might be using superintelligence effectively themselves.
Could end up being smarter or more capable than the company they hired.
Exactly. That's a huge competitive disadvantage brewing.
That is a really powerful warning. Okay, so if the scary future is this dependent AI pet generation with, brains on standby, how do we avoid that? How do we actively become part of the Gerason Genio, the genius generation?
Right. It comes back to personal agency, doesn't it? What
Yeah.
can you do? Marion Sunless outlines a pretty clear path.
Yeah.
3 main things.
Okay, lay them out for us.
First, cognitive protagonism. Sounds fancy, but it just means taking the lead role in your own cognitive development.
Being the scientist of yourself, she calls it.
Yeah. Using neuroscience insights, understanding how your brain learns, adapts, and then using that knowledge to make your interactions with technology way more powerful. Taking active control.
Makes sense. What's second?
Continuous AI education. And this isn't just about learning fancy software. Prompt engineering, at its core, is just about communicating clearly, giving the right commands to get what you actually need.
So moving beyond just clicking buttons.
Yes. And reclaiming, she argues, the ability to build structured thoughts. Arguments with a beginning, middle, end, not just firing off emojis and half-formed phrases, really thinking things through, even in how we ask questions of AI.
Interesting. Reclaiming structured reasoning. And the third point, this one surprised me a bit.
Yeah, it's the 50-plus generation leading the transformation. Marinus herself, as we said, is nearly 65. She's adamant that age is not a barrier here.
In fact, she sees it as an advantage.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Think about it. Decades of knowledge, wisdom, experience. That becomes incredibly valuable when you amplify it with AI. This generation, she believes, could be the real vanguard.
The experience amplified by AI generation. I like that.
Me too. It reframes experience not as something outdated, but as a powerful asset in this new era.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive really brings home the idea that AI is huge, arguably the biggest invention of our time.
Unprecedented potential to scale intelligence, prosperity.
But the choice, like with the genie, it really is in our hands, how we use it.
So the question for you listening is, where do you see yourself in this? In your work, your daily habits? Are you leaning more towards the AI pet side? Or are you actively cultivating that genius generation approach?
What actual steps are you taking? Making sure AI is a tool for your growth, not, a replacement for your own thinking.
It makes you think about that provocative little example Marinus
Oh,
shared.
wait, and a math question.
Right. Imagine asking someone, hey, what's 10% of 100?
Simple calculation.
And they pull out their phone. Not even to use the calculator app, but to ask an AI chatbot, because they don't even know how to phrase it for a calculator anymore.
Yikes. That's a stark picture of that cognitive debt you mentioned.
It really is. That subtle erosion of basic skills,
Yeah.
because we've outsourced the thinking behind them. Something to reflect on, definitely.
We really hope this deep dive into Marinus Pereira's thinking has sparked some useful insights for you as you navigate your own journey with AI.
Yeah, lots to chew on there.